Coming up on Chapman News, players in Tustin have picked their teams, and we're not talking about sports. Find out why the Tustin City Council race has people talking.
Plus, protests over widespread layoffs at the UCI Medical Center. Workers make their case to get their jobs back.
And I'm in studio today with top defense attorney Mark DeVore, helping us navigate all those propositions in California this election year. All this and more coming up on Chapman News.
Happy Friday, everyone. Welcome to Chapman News. Hello, I am Hiro Ueno.
And I'm Cameron Backstrom, and we've got quite the show for you. This November, residents of Tustin will vote on 3 city council seats that have the people talking. Evan Arani has a story on this competitive race.
It happened by coincidence or not, this year's Tustin City Council race has caused some stir, as 3 men are running a joint effort to sweep all available seats on the council. They've banded together calling themselves Team Tustin and are running against lone candidate Letitia Clark.
Joining in a team and endorsing each other, that's no surprise in politics. People do it all the time. I think what's a little unbalanced about it, just from the outside view, is that there's only 4 of us. So there's kind of no need to team up because there's only so few of us.
But for competitor Austin Lombard, the only non-incumbent member of Team Tustin, he says it has nothing to do with who else is running.
Chuck, Doc, and myself are supporting each other and have since before the filing period was opened. So there could have been 12 candidates running. It still would have been the 3 of us supporting each other. We're aligned on a lot of the big picture issues, and I'm fortunate to have their endorsement along with 2 other current council members right now.
Lombard has served as the chair of the Tustin Planning Commission since 2012, a position appointed by the City Council. And although some may see the race as unbalanced, Clark says there are no hard feelings.
It's politics. Yeah, I'm not crying foul at all. I think the perception has been more from the outside. Everyone's like, hey, that's not fair, but it's politics, so it's not fair all the time.
But when asked why Tustin, they both mentioned their love for the community.
We are a small town amongst many big towns. Our neighbors are much larger than us, and you can really tell the difference when you come to Tustin. It feels like you're taking a step back in time. People know each other.
As a parent, it's important for me to raise my kids in a place where they know their next door neighbor's name, and we can walk around and be greeted by smiles and handshakes, and that doesn't happen everywhere.
If you're registered as an absentee ballot voter, you'll receive a vote-by-mail ballot just like this one, while thousands of others will head to the polls on November 8th to have their voice heard. From Tustin, Evan Arani, Chapman News.
Chapman News contacted the 2 incumbent members of Team Tustin and are still waiting on a response.
Public intoxication, petty theft, and indecent exposure. These kinds of misdemeanors have gotten lax treatment when it comes to prosecution in Huntington Beach, but that is all about to change. Huntington Beach City Council unanimously approved a plan on August 15th to hire a community prosecutor who would go after misdemeanors that never get their chance in court. These crimes go untried and unpunished due to the large volume of severe cases that take precedent for the Orange County District Attorney. With a total of 5,000 arrests made in Huntington Beach in 2015, 80% of those were misdemeanors, according to the city attorney, Michael Gates. Now the hired prosecutor will handle anywhere from 50 to 100 criminal cases at any given time, and some civil nuisance and fraud cases would be handled as well. Councilwoman Barbara Del Giselle said she hopes that change will send the right message that Huntington Beach takes misdemeanor crime very seriously.
A sports franchise right down the road in Orange County has gone under after a few short seasons. The LA Kiss of the Arena Football League have seemingly ceased operations. The Kiss started playing in 2014 behind ownership from rock and roll Kiss legends Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley. Their home games were right down the street at the Honda Center. Now, attendance last season was near the bottom of the league with about 8,000 fans showing up per game, which is down from the 11,000 in their first season. Now, over the past week, 5 of their AFL teams have either gone under or simply left the league. Season ticket holders and players haven't heard any word from the team officially. Now, fans are calling for the season ticket office and getting no response from the team's public relations office. The players on the team are learning their fate online as the remaining AFL players are being split up in a dispersal-type draft. The LA Kiss was the AFL's fourth try at arena football in the SoCal market, but after a 14-39 record in 3 seasons, they're leaving without giving fans or players a kiss goodbye.
Self-driving cars have been long just a dream of the future, but Tesla's announcement on Wednesday aims to bring that dream one step closer to reality. The electric car maker announced Tuesday that it will begin outfitting their entire production line with special technology that will allow for fully autonomous driving. This means that the Models S, X, and 3 will all be able to fully drive themselves without any human interaction. Tesla continues to move forward with their self-driving technology despite receiving a fair amount of criticism over their current autopilot system. Just this week in Germany, Tesla was ordered to stop marketing the autopilot features on its cars due to it being a significant public hazard. The company stands by its autopilot software, and Tesla CEO Elon Musk says safety is still a top priority.
Over 200 people picketed outside the UC Irvine Medical Center Tuesday. Their cause? A loss of jobs.
We're fired up, can't take it no more. These are the words coming from the American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Workers after the UC Irvine Health Center in Orange began laying off employees, as the university-based care provider said is part of a plan to ensure efficiency of its operations. President of the AFS CME trade union, Catherine Lieberger, says after the medical center saw $70 million in profits last year, this is not a profit problem, this is a staffing problem.
Every person laid off, they need to bring back. Frontline care workers, everyone gets their job back because patients need it. The people left behind now, without their colleagues who are laid off, have more work to do.
According to AFS CME, these survey results come as no surprise. The local troop says the UC system has been treating workers unfairly for months. But for now former psychiatric tech worker Faith Sedgwick, the pink slip from her boss still caught her off guard.
When I came in there, they told me that they are going to eliminate my position. And it's hard. It's hard being in that situation, telling my face that they're going to eliminate my position and that they're letting me go.
UC Irvine plans to lay off 175 employees. However, these workers right behind me saying that they are not stopping until something has changed.
With the presidential election comes 17 new ballot propositions for California voters. Joining us in studio today to talk about a few of them, we have criminal defense attorney and returning Chapman news guest, Mark DeVore. Thanks for being here, Mark.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. So, a lot of these propositions on the ballot will have a direct effect on criminal justice and the way it's handled in Orange and Orange County and the California areas. So what are specific propositions that you really think could affect those circumstances?
Well, number one, you have to talk about Prop 57. Prop 57 really has 3 prongs to it. One, the ability of state prisoners to earn increased credits to get out earlier through rehabilitation or educational programs. 2, it gives the Bureau of Parole Hearings the ability to release prisoners early, and in some cases up to 75 or 80% of a reduced sentence from what the judge had imposed. And the third, probably less controversial, is a juvenile justice matter, whereas now, if you're over 14 years old and you commit certain crimes, murder, rape, torture, the district attorney can just totally avoid the juvenile court and file on an arrestee directly in the adult court. What Prop 57 will do is force the DA to get the approval of a juvenile court judge before allowing the case to be transferred to the adult court.
Wow, that's definitely a lot of information taken. So you mentioned 57, how it's the most important. How do you see it affecting our current California state financial, where we're at economically, either positively or negatively?
Right. It's very interesting when you read the way the initiatives are described in the ballot. Obviously, people getting out of prison earlier, I believe, creates a greater increase in crime. And I think we found that when 3 strikes was implemented, you had a reduction of crime. Recently, we had Penal Code Section 1170H, which is commonly referred to as realignment, which brought people who would formerly be housed in state prison back into the county jail. And after a 30-year decrease in crime in California, 2014 actually had an increase in violent crime. On the other hand, the proponents of Prop 57 stress, hey, most people are going to get out of prison at a certain time. So let's give them the incentive to get their high school diploma, take some college courses, learn a trade, because they're going to get out and back into the community at some point.
Okay, and the last and final really proposition we kind of go over here is the marijuana proposition, obviously a very hot button topic around college campuses and our age demographic in general. What do you see as the benefits and negative side effects of a proposition like that going into law?
Well, I think the benefit is, let's face it, with medical marijuana right now, it's essentially decriminalized. Right? Everybody who, I think experience has shown that everybody who wants a marijuana, people call it a prescription, it's really a recommendation, gets it. But what the marijuana proposition would do is essentially create, I don't want to call them liquor stores, but retail stores where you'd be able to go buy marijuana. Possession of less than an ounce would not be a crime in California. Right now it's an infraction, it's punishable by a $100 fine. You'd also, some of these stores would have licenses for on-site consumption. What it would do, I think, is take organized crime out of the business. And it's the associated crime, the guns, the robberies, even the thefts and the burglaries from people, that would, taking that away and putting in corporate interest running the marijuana business, and then also you've got taxation issues. The state perhaps could raise up to $1 billion from marijuana taxes, and that's a lot in this economy.
Absolutely.
Awesome. That's definitely not taken, so we'll see when we vote. Thank you so much. We always have a great time having you here. Coming up, we have Netflix binging, tablet smashing, and hints of Apple season as we take you through this week in the tech world.
Plus, Chapman's housing department is finding new solutions for student housing in Orange that may just about please everyone.
And it is 87 degrees right now in Orange. Stay tuned as we look at today's forecast and what you can expect heading into the weekend. You're watching Chapman News. We'll be right back.
Follow your dreams. Chapman University. Take your life to new heights. Chapman University. Invest your humanity. Lead. Follow your dreams. Chapman University. History, philosophy, peace studies, languages. Study abroad and explore the world. Become a global citizen. The Wilkinson College at Chapman University. Invest your humanity. Lead.
This week has been filled with temper tantrums, cryptic invitations, and a few other stranger things. Robert Rosenfield is back once again to bring us the latest news in the tech world.
There's no doubt that this summer's smash hit Stranger Things caused a lot of weekend Netflix binging. But it was actually so much, the company gave the show specific credit for helping it have one of its best quarters ever. The popular video streaming service announced on Monday that it picked up over 3.5 million new subscribers in the past 3 months and brought in over $2 billion in revenue. Netflix also mentioned it has doubled the number of hours of original content it produced, and that number is expected to grow in the next few months as Netflix finishes up production on new original content, as well as new seasons of their current shows. Get ready, House of Cards fans, your long wait is almost over. It was the gift scene around the world this weekend that took social media by storm. During the middle of the live NFL game on Sunday, New England Patriots coach Bill Belichick smashed his Microsoft Surface tablet against an equipment case on the sidelines. Belichick stated in a press conference on Monday that he did it out of frustration and that he is done using the tablet. All of this comes right in the middle of Microsoft's 5-year, $400 million exclusive contract with the NFL to supply all teams with specialized versions of their Microsoft Surface tablets. Microsoft responded to Belichick's Sunday outburst, saying that though they respect his decision, they still stand behind the integrity and reliability of the Microsoft Surface tablets. It's been a while since Apple's updated the Mac.
Hello, I am Macintosh. It sure is great to get out of that bag.
Okay, well maybe not that long ago. On Thursday, the company sent out invitations to tech press for an event on their campus, which will almost definitely mean we will see an update to Apple's laptop and desktop line. The new MacBook Pros are rumored to have a special OLED touch bar above the keyboard that will change to show information and shortcuts depending on what application you're currently running. The new laptops will also supposedly have a slightly modified keyboard, Thunderbolt 3, and Touch ID. The fingerprint authentication system from the iPhone and iPad will finally be making its way to the Mac. I'm Robert Rosenfeld, and that's The Week in Tech.
Recent tensions with the community regarding Chapman students living off campus has led property developer Western States Housing Development to seek a solution to the problem. As it University is low on student housing. Both the university and the surrounding community would like to see more student-exclusive housing available. Recent talk has sparked interest from many, but also controversy.
Because this project wouldn't necessarily be affiliated with the university, I think that's where the legal concerns come in through the Fair Housing Act. Because it would essentially be discriminatory practice to say, we'll only allow students to live here.
The site is located a block from the university's main campus on Olive Street. However, a legal battle awaits the property. In addition to the Killefer School being listed on the National Register of Historic Places, a private developer hopes to build housing exclusively for Chapman students, which is a possible violation of the Fair Housing Act.
As its own apartment complex, I think if they just opened it up, wanted to market heavily to students, as long as they weren't, discriminating against the general population, I think they probably would have a lot more luck with that.
Well, Hero, I don't know if you heard in the news a few days ago, the Irvine Meadows Theater is closing down. Can you believe it?
No, I can't. I
yeah,
can't really.
It's actually a really cool little venue out in Irvine, and I went to a concert there this summer, so it's pretty emotional for me, but...
I mean, Emily is actually at the Irvine Meadows local outdoor concert venue right now that is actually closing permanently at the end of the month. Emily? Well, I mean, we're having a little bit of technical issues here, but specifically, why do you think it happened like that? Why do you think the Irvine company just came in and took over?
Well, I mean, they're one of the most wealthiest companies in Irvine. I mean, we live in the Irvine Company apartment homes.
That's
so,
true. That's true.
I think it's really interesting. But now that I think we are back here, Emily Beal is live at the Irvine Meadows Theater. Emily, what do you have for us?
Thanks, guys. That's right. I'm out here at the Irvine Amphitheater in the city of Irvine, as the name would state. Now, most of us know this as the place to be for concerts in the area, local comedian performances, anything for outdoor entertainment. Some of you may remember Wild Rivers, a place I know I spent much of my childhood at, was actually right over here to my left. Now, that has become phase one of 5 Point Development Company's apartment homes. Moving forward in the future, this area that we're currently standing on at Irvine Amphitheater right here behind me is going to become phase two of the apartment home development. Now, Irvine Amphitheater has been here for 35 years. It opened August 21st, 1981, and it holds over 16,000 seats. Those 16,000 seats have seen the likes of Amy Schumer, Akon, Jimmy Buffett, Ozzy Osbourne, and even Michael Jackson. Now, fun fact for you, the Irvine Amphitheater was actually the first place to host Lollapalooza way back in 1991, before any of us were born, and that tradition has continued on and obviously spread out throughout the U.S., across the world today. Now, future plans for a performance venue in Orange County, what is that going to look like? That is going to become something that 5 Point Development Companies and Live Nation, who actually own Irvine Meadows right here, are looking to expand over at the Great Park in Irvine. They are planning to build a temporary stadium, or outdoor facility, if you will, that's going to hold about 12,000 seats. They're planning to have that open for nearly 3 years, and then at that point, they plan to have a permanent plan for some sort of outdoor performance venue here in Orange County so that the concerts, the comedians, all of that fun can continue. Who is going to close the show? That is what everyone is wondering. Who is going to close such an iconic venue here in Orange County? None other than Anaheim native and Orange County native Gwen Stefani. Now, fun fact for you all, I actually saw Gwen Stefani here for my 12th birthday on her Sweet Escape tour, and she will be here on October 30th to close the show at Irvine Meadows and for her This Is What Love Looks Like tour on October 30th. I'm Emily Beal reporting from the city of Irvine for Chapman News.
Thanks so much, Emily. So sad to hear the news.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, it's sad to hear that. Well, I mean, are you going to the Gwen Stefani show?
You know, I would like to, but, you know, hey, it's probably super expensive, so probably not.
Absolutely. Well, a woman in La Habra is Orange County's first West Nile virus-related death of the year. The 60-year-old woman is the 12th die of the West Nile virus in California in 2016. Orange County officials report that 33 human infections this season, with most of them requiring hospitalization. La Habra has the highest number of West Nile virus-infected mosquito samples. Last year, 8 Orange County residents died of the virus. Symptoms of the virus include fever, headache, body aches, nausea, fatigue, skin rash. Vector Control urges residents to always dump standing water and be careful.
Well, over the past 2 weekends, history was made in the music world as fans from all over the globe went to Palm Desert for the new festival Desert Trip. Over 150,000 people attended the 2-weekend festival to see 6 of the biggest performances in rock and roll history. These included the Rolling Stones, The Who, and Paul McCartney, who brought out special guest Rihanna on Saturday. The festival was an absolute huge success, and many people expect it to be back next year.
Well, it's looking like a beautiful weekend out there for some football, and honestly, Cam, your Ravens are looking a little pretty average there, sitting pretty at 3-3 going against the Jets.
We're 3-3, but we're playing the 1-5 Jets this weekend, so we should get a win.
That is true, that is true. And while London is calling my Rams, Simone, what's it looking like at the Coliseum this weekend?
Thank you, guys. It is our usual sunny Southern California weather today. Right now, it's 87 outside with very low winds. Let's take a look at the rest of Orange County today. It's going to be a warmer day, not quite in the 90s, but definitely in the high 80s. Inland here, we have 87 in Irvine, or 88 in Irvine, 87 in Mission Viejo. As we move closer to the coast, though, we're going to get some slightly cooler temperatures with 76 in Newport and 80 in Laguna. Could make for a great beach day, not too hot, not too cold. Now, let's take a look at the greater Southern California area. We do have a little bit warmer weather out here in Palm Springs, 88. But as we move north into the mountains, it's going to be cooler in 70 in Big Bear Lake. Now, we do have a little bit of a heat swell. If we look north up to Santa Barbara, it gets all the way up into the 90s. Now, we're looking at a very dry heat, so just remember that wherever you're headed this weekend, definitely remember to stay hydrated and try and bring a bottle of water wherever you go. Now, let's look at our 5-day forecast. As we move into the weekend, it does cool down quite a bit. We're looking at a 10-degree temperature drop, 85 with a high of 85 on Saturday and 79 on Sunday. Earlier in the week, or Monday and Tuesday next week, it drops even further to 75 and 70, highs of 75 and 76. Now, that we might just get some of that fall weather that we got a taste of last week. Now, in other weather news, Typhoon Haima, a Category 4 hurricane, made landfall in the Philippines on Wednesday. It brought destructive winds of about 140 miles an hour and has put at least 15,000 people in evacuation shelters. The death toll has reached 8, and we can only hope that as the storm moves closer to China, it does calm down a little bit and turns into that tropical storm weather, moves east into lesser populated areas. Now, to leave you guys off with some lighter news, as we approach Halloween, we're obviously all big fans of Disney here in Orange County. Continuing this weekend is Mickey's Big Halloween Party, which is now sold out. But if you have your tickets for this weekend, or you're just going to head over to check out the park's festive decorations, just remember that it will be 85 tomorrow, so it's going to be comfortable but still very dry. Enjoy your weekend, and that's all I have for you guys here in the Weather Center. Now let's see what we've got in sports news.
Thanks, Simone. Coming up on the Best Campus Sports Show, we have a one-on-one with Chapman's Athlete of the Week. Plus, see if the football team could stay hot against the Bulldogs. You're watching Chapman News.
astronaut, 1 in 13,200,000. Odds of being struck by lightning, 1 in 576,000. Odds of dating a supermodel, 1 in 88,000. Odds of bowling a perfect game, 1 in 11,500. Odds of being trapped in an elevator, 1 in 24,528. Odds of catching a ball at a major league game, 1 in 563. Odds of an injury from shaving, 1 in 6,585. Odds of tripping while texting, 1 in 10. Odds of getting cancer in your lifetime, 1 in 2 men, 1 in 3 women.
It's up to us.
To change the odds for our generation.
For the ones we love. For our future.
If you don't like the odds, stand up. Stand up to cancer.
Emergencies and disasters happen with little or no warning and often occur while you are away from home. Be ready for emergencies by registering your alternate phone numbers, cell phones, and email addresses at alertoc.com. You will receive alerts when an emergency occurs near your workplace or neighborhood.
Welcome into the Best Campus Sports Show, everyone. I'm Wolfie Tash, and let's get right to the highlights. After a homecoming loss 2 weeks ago, Panther football team went on the road to take on Redlands. Here are the highlights. We see quarterback Rick Batista take this ball inside the 10, short of the touchdown, but good enough for Lucas Alfonso to hit this 28-yard field goal, putting the Panthers up 3. But Redlands would respond right away as we see Alex Andrighetto take this right up the middle, 60 yards all the way inside the 10-yard line. What a breakthrough run, setting up later. Now the Chapman defense will hold him for 3 downs, but on 4th and goal, Mitch Kidd finds Kyle Caberry for the 4-yard touchdown, putting the Bulldogs up 7-3. Chapman would answer in the second quarter with a touchdown of their own from Brandon Medina, who takes this one 7 yards up the gut, putting the Panthers up by a field goal. But Redlands would respond right away with a touchdown run of their own by Devin Appleton, putting them up 14-10. And here we see Alex Andrighetto again, 19 yards up the middle, putting the Bulldogs up by double digits. Bulldogs would tack on another touchdown and win the game 31-13. We caught up with Coach Bob Owens after the game to get his take on the team's L.
We thought we had a chance to win. You know, it's always tough to come here and play and win. Playing here is like playing at our place. It's a very tough place to come in and win.
Each week, Chapman University honors an athlete that went above and beyond for their team. This week, our reporter Allison Arthur caught up with the women's soccer goalie, Kristen Kleinow.
Hey everyone, it's Allison Arthur. I'm here with our Athlete of the Week, Kristen Kleinow. Thanks for taking time out before practice to be with us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
You've had a very successful 4 years here at Chapman in soccer. Now that you're a senior and you can look back kind of at your time over the past 4 years, what's been your favorite memory?
It's pretty current, but definitely beating Redlands. We haven't beat them in about 6 years. So the fact that we were able to beat them twice in one season is pretty big.
Awesome. You've already been the leader in saves, but on Saturday, now you're ranked 4th all-time for shutouts. How did that feel? What goes into doing that?
I mean, honestly, I didn't even know I was that close to having that many shutouts, so that was kind of crazy to even hear. But going into it, I mean, it takes the whole team, like just because I'm the last one in the back, in the net, doesn't mean it doesn't take the 10 people in front of me to stop the ball too, so.
Right. Were you expecting to be Athlete of the Week this week, or is it kind of a surprise?
I had no idea. I didn't even know until one of my friends texted me about it, so that was pretty cool. I was really excited about it, yeah.
Cool.
I tried to throw other objects at Kristen to see just how good of a goalkeeper she is. I kicked a tennis ball, threw a frisbee, and even tried a plastic jack-o'-lantern. Your Athlete of the Week, Kristen Kleinow, stopped them all. I'm Allison Arthur, Chapman News.
Thanks to Athlete of the Week, Kristen Kleinow, for sitting down with our reporter Allison and giving us some insight to what the life is like for our soccer ladies on the field. Now let's take a look at the upcoming schedule for the Panthers this weekend, and boy, do we have a lot on the schedule. We start this Saturday with women's volleyball versus Overland at 11 a.m. at home. Follow that with two other matchups at 11 a.m. Men's water polo taking on Laverne at home, and women's soccer is on the road at Pomona Pitzer. Followed that off by men's soccer at home versus Redlands at 1, and to cap off a day full of sports, we've got football versus Laverne at 7 p.m. here at Chapman University. Now, in final news, you all know I'm a Dodger fan and a big baseball fan, and while my team may be down and out, we will never give up and we will never quit. And with that, I throw it to entertainment, and Fiona, what is new in our world from the entertainment side?
Down with actor Asif Mandu to talk about his career. Also, Lady Gaga just dropped her 5th studio album, and it's music to our ears. Stay tuned for the details. I'm Fiona Zaring. You're watching Chapman News.
Stand up for what's right. Chapman University. Passion, perseverance, teamwork, integrity. Create value in the world. The School of Law at Chapman University. Lead. Follow your dreams. Chapman University. Chemistry, physics, computational science, biology. Start doing research in your first year. Soar to new heights. The Schmid College of Science at Chapman University. Explore.
Welcome back to Chapman News. Hero, can you tell me what my favorite, or guess what my favorite Lady Gaga song is?
Well, I hear you singing Born This Way in the shower quite often in the mornings, but my second choice would probably be Alejandro, one of the two for you.
Those are two good choices. Those are two good choices. But my favorite song is actually Poker Face. That is an OG hit.
Interesting choice.
Now, our own Fiona Zaring is in the entertainment room. Fiona, can you tell us what's going on in entertainment?
Absolutely. Thanks, guys. Here's a great way to start your weekend. Calling all little monsters, Lady Gaga's 5th studio album is out today. The album is titled Joanne, and the singer-songwriter released her latest single from the record called Perfect Illusion. Fans will hear more rock-infused rhythms on this album than her usual electronic pop music we all know and love. Fresh off her tour with Tony Bennett, Gaga just embarked on a 3-date tour called the Dive Bar Tour Wednesday, sponsored by Bud Light. The next performance will be held on October 27th. The 6-time Grammy winner will be playing multiple songs off her new album on the Dive Bar Tour, and of course, getting fans geared up for when she headlines the Super Bowl 51 halftime show in February. Gamma Phi Beta hosted their annual Airbands event, and I got a closer look at the action. The 2016 Airbands Champions. Airbands is a lip-sync competition put on by the Gamma Phi Beta sorority to raise money for their philanthropy, Girls on the Run.
Our philanthropy, Girls on the Run, which is an after-school program that is for 3rd through 8th grade girls, and it incorporates running, and it also teaches them about women empowerment and body positivity.
The theme for this year's event was Battle of the Airbands. Each group chose a musical icon and crafted a 7-minute lip-sync routine.
I am so grateful for how enthusiastic the rest of Chapman's community is. It's such a fun show. They put so much effort into it, and we couldn't raise the amount of money that we do without the participation of everyone.
This year, Gamma Phi raised over $14,000 for Girls on the Run. After 3 sold-out shows, DG and Phi Tau were crowned this year's Airband champs for their rendition of the Beatles. Have another chance to show off their performance skills next month during our annual Greek Week competition. This past Tuesday, Chapman's UPB hosted their annual fall speaker event, and actor-comedian Asif Manvi spoke to Chapman students at Memorial Hall. He is best known for being a correspondent on The Daily Show and for his roles in films like The Proposal and The Internship. He read a few excerpts from his book titled No Man's Land, sharing many family stories from growing up, including his family's first experience having brunch and other funny family moments. Chapman News sat down with the actor to talk about his career.
I started in the theater. I started doing plays, and then TV and film was a natural extension of that. The Daily Show was a complete left turn into like a whole other world. But, you know, as much as it was a world that I'd never been in before, ultimately the guy that I played on The Daily Show was as much a character as anything else I'd ever done. So he was also a role that I played. He just happened to have my name.
In the entertainment world, to become an author, Manvi wears many hats. His recent book talks a lot about identity, faith, and culture. He told us he believes there's something in it that everyone can relate to. Students got to interact with Manvi during the meet and greet after the show to get their book signed. That's your very latest in entertainment. I'm Fiona Zaring. Now back to the desk.
Thank you so much, Fiona. Now, Hero, when you see a magic trick, does it ever just like make you wonder like how they did it?
Not really, no. No, not at all.
Okay, well, it does for me. I love magic, and it just drives me crazy.
Well, you know, that reminds me, actually. There's an event coming up at Warner Brothers Studio lot next week. They're letting people go behind the scenes of some of their horror films and showing people exactly how they make their scary movies scary. Our reporter Nicole Renard makes an exclusive visit Wednesday to get the scoop.
Horror Made Here is the ultimate Halloween event held at Warner Brothers Studio lot that gives people a chance to go behind the scenes of some of their best known horror films.
You know, we're not here to scare people. It's not like some of the other attractions in Southern California. We're really looking to show people and get them behind the scenes of how we make horror, how we actually scare you. So whether it's an effect from the door or effect with some of the crosses that we have at Conjuring or seeing the Annabelle doll, people will actually get to see how we create that process. What are the effects?
This exclusive event takes guests through the sets and stages of iconic films such as The Exorcist, Gremlins, and HBO's True Blood. They'll also be treated to movie-themed drinks and snacks, as well as a special screening of the supernatural horror film, The Conjuring.
So one thing that makes the tour a little bit more exciting than just a normal tour that we have is that we're telling stories about some of the hauntings that have been on some of our sound stages. Earlier this evening I was talking about the Annabelle doll, how if we don't actually wire shut her case, it does open. And we're not sure why. And we actually have that on security camera in the middle of the night that it was actually opening. It was a little freaky.
If walking around the sets isn't enough, guests can also get up close to props and costumes from movies filmed right on the lot. The tour ends with a grand finale of Stage 48. Here, guests will have the opportunity to explore the full film and television production process and even see props and costumes from movies like Suicide Squad and Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice. If you want to hear insider stories about the movies that make you jump, you better jump right on those tickets, because this event is only for 2 days. The event will be October 28th and 29th right here at Warner Brothers Studio. Tickets are just $10. Reporting from the dinner plate, I'm Nicole Renard, Chapman News.
Thank you so much for that, Nicole. Well, log on to our website, chapmannews.tv, to see all of our episodes, Chapman Newsies bios, and top headlines.
And make sure you also follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/Chapman News, Twitter and Instagram at @Chapman News, and YouTube at youtube.com/Chapman News. And lastly, go Patriots.
More importantly, go Ravens.
Disregard that. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Bye.